Hi, I think rice is so common that you should think to yourself, how hard it is can it be to cook it? And I do agree, it's not hard at all. But if you want to make perfect rice for perfect fried rice, I think there are a few points that we need to think about. The first point is the type of rice itself. On a general rule of thumb, the longer the grain of rice, the better results. The shorter grain rice will have a lot more starch, and so it tends to clump together a lot. For my case, I use fragrant rice. It is fairly long grain, but it's not the longest one. The second point is when to cook the rice. For us Thais, we like to use overnight rice or leftover rice. Because whenever we put rice into the fridge will take away the surface humidity, and that makes it a lot easier to handle. The last point is technique. Generally speaking, you want high heat for stir frying. Unfortunately, the household stove will not produce such a high heat. But it's good enough, you have to make do on what you have. The second one is the type of pan you use. My personal choice is this carbon steel wok. It is not non-stick, so you need a bit of experience to get used to. The whole purpose of this type of wok is that it conveys the heat from the stove to the food more quickly, and so you are in more control of your food. That's about it for the techniques. Let's go and see how we cook the rice. I'm making this video on the basis that you don't have a rice cooker, but if you do, the process is very similar. First method is just boiling on stove top. I recommend using minimum 1 cup of rice. I tried cooking 2 little rice and it doesn't work as well. First start by washing the rice. This is important because it usually have surface starch, and washing this out will help rice to not stick together. Do this 3 to 4 times until the water is relatively clear, or you can use a strainer too. For Thai fragrant rice, use 1 part water per 1 part rice as a starting point. Depending on the type of rice, you might need a little bit more or less than this. Okay, stop. This part I forgot it myself. Put in a pinch of salt and also rest it 1 to 2 hours before cooking. I have no idea why the salt helps, but it really does help the rice to be grainier. Resting the rice before cooking also makes it absorb more water and it will cook more evenly. Okay, continue. I recommend using non-stick pots and definitely with a lid. Use lowest gas setting and cook for 20 to 25 minutes depending on how low you can set your gas. In my case, I cook it for 25 minutes. We'll look at method 2 first before our last step. Method 2 is steaming. This is why sometimes this is called steamed rice. Preparing the rice is the same, so we'll go over this quickly. Wash the rice to get rid of the starch. Do this 3 to 4 times. Use 1 part rice to 1 part water. Put in a pinch of salt and rest it for 1 to 2 hours before cooking. I don't have a steamer at home, but I use this as a stand for my bowl to rest on and above boiling water. Steam it for 25 minutes or so. Okay, now we are done with both methods. Let's go over the last step. The last step, regardless of the method, is to spread your hot rice over a flat surface and use a fan to cool it down. By doing this, you can use the rice right away and don't have to wait overnight. The steam and fan already remove the surface humidity. Now you have nicely cooked rice for you to make a wonderful fried rice. Try it and don't forget to click like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.